Yo, it's Pro Wrestling Summer. You already know what it is. Chris Dozer in the house. Chris Dozer, how the hell you doing, man?
I am fantastic. How are you, sir?
Ah, man, you know what? I'm living the dream, buddy. Living the dream.
You know, one more day above ground's a good thing, right?
That's it, buddy. That's it. You know it. You know it. So we got a new system here. We're gonna try this out and see how this new system works. I like it. It sounds pretty good on my end. So we're just gonna continue to roll with it. Cause fuck it. Why not?
Fuck it.
I like it. Fuck it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. So today we're going to be discussing the top 10 current superstars that are in professional wrestling that are signed to major companies. We have our next 14 weeks of programming fucking squared away. So we're just going to be running through a lot of top 10 lists, and it's going to be fucking pretty good, man. It's going to be pretty good. I'm pretty excited about it. I hope you are too.
I am absolutely fucking pumped, and the feedback I got from the last two shows we did,
yeah,
has been nothing but positive. So
all right, great.
Keep doing it.
Well, that's awesome, man. That's what I like to hear. So let's start out with your number 10, buddy. Who's your number 10 on your current list?
All right, my number 10 is going to go with a often forgotten name, but currently he's one of my favorites. It's Zack Sabre Jr.
Ooh, ZSJ, man. ZSJ.
He's unfortunate because, he got a little bit of exposure with AEW. A little bit. And then disappeared back into the annals of Japan. You have to go find his matches. You have to go watch him in New Japan or watch him live, which good luck finding it. But he is, bell to bell, one of the best technical wrestlers alive today.
I like it, man. I like it. ZSJ is a hell of a competitor. I love that he uses a different finish all the time.
Absolutely.
He never settles for just one submission finish. He goes about his business in the most professional way possible. So I'm a big fan of that at number 10.
Thank you. Who's your number 10, sir?
My number 10 is actually going to be Jay White. I'm a big Jay White fan. I like Jay White a lot. I think that Jay White is pretty exceptional in the ring. I think that totally underrated. Wish he would have went to WWE, but I understand that the money may be just too good at AEW. But his promo skills, like everything about him, it screams superstar to me. So yep. He would be in my number 10 spot. Who is your number 9?
Number 9. Number 9 for me is Danny Garcia.
Ooh, Daniel Garcia. Interesting.
Daniel Garcia. Yep.
Interesting.
So here's the thing, and it sucks because I think the AEW product is damn near unwatchable.
Okay.
But what Dan Garcia is doing right now, like he's caught fire right now. Hopefully he gets signed to a major contract. That was the dispute for a while. I think he signed already, but I'm not sure.
I believe he has. I believe he's signed to AEW at this point.
Right. I think there's a big negotiation with Tony Khan. That he'd be stupid to let him go to WWE. But I said, there's not a bad match of Daniel Garcia's that I haven't seen.
Yeah, he's pretty proficient at what he does, man. He is.
It's incredible. He brings that sense of danger to the ring. It looks like he's working into a shoot.
Yep.
It's just he hits hard. He makes everything count when he has the opportunity, and he's never dropped the ball when he's had the opportunity to just shine.
Yeah, he really does. He definitely brings an element of danger, that's for sure. You really don't know what you're going to get with him when he gets in the ring. I really dig his style. I'm not a big fan of the dancing. The dancing is just a little much for me.
I think the dancing was used to try to soften the edges on him.
Yep.
To turn him face.
Yep.
And you see it done many times. You see it done with Sky Too Hottie and Grandmaster Sexay. Whenever they work with guys and they wear tweeners and they were kind of paired with them.
Yep.
They got them in the dance too. Kind of soften them up, soften them below the turn.
Yep.
Hey, now he's cool. Now he's fun. Now he's. I like the all business Dan Garcia. That's what I want.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that he's incredible in the ring. Like I said, the only thing that I think was a bit of a misstep was the dancing, but it at least gave him some personality to show that he could, do kind of a comedy thing, and he doesn't have to be so straight laced. But I think that's a really good pick for number 9. My number 9 pick. You've already said my number 9 pick was Zack Sabre Jr.
There you go.
So I'm a big ZSJ guy. I love Zack Sabre. I think that he's incredible. So
Absolutely fantastic wrestler.
I'm glad that we're like right in the same realm with that. Well, my number 8 is going to be Seth Rollins. Now, some people are going to say that's a little bit too low on the list. He's a little bit too low at 8, and I'm going to say I don't think he's too low on the list. I think he's right where he should be. I don't think that Seth is any higher than that at this juncture, and the only reason why is because there's so many other guys on the list that that are.
I mean, once you go through, like, we used to talk about in the Attitude Era, like, the massive array of talent they had assembled in the backstage area for WWE and for WCW.
Yep.
Right now, there is no more talented. I mean, the cup runneth over with how many people you could feature as a main event spot. It's almost a spoil of riches for both Tony Khan and Paul Levesque.
It really is
ridiculous.
It really is. There's so much talent, and the talent is so abundant. And I mean, all that it would take is for just pushing a guy up into that upper echelon. Maybe a guy, a mid card guy like a Chad Gable is a perfect example that you could push up into a main event spot, and that main event spot could be filled by Chad Gable in absolutely no time. So. I think that there's some other talent that hasn't even been featured as well as they should be yet, and and just think about all it would take is just one solid storyline or one solid match to put these guys into that different stratosphere. And there's a lot.
Very smart.
Yeah.
How they booked them.
Yeah.
Like they have them loaded in the chamber, ready to go, ready to fire up. You saw it with Sami Zayn.
Yep.
You see it now with Carmelo Hayes in LA Knight.
Yep. I agree.
I mean, any one of those guys can main event a SmackDown or a pay-per-view, and you wouldn't be unhappy.
Right. It's not going to be out of place. It's not going to be out of place at all. Who's your number 8, buddy?
My number 8 is going to be. Pull up my list here. Sorry. My number 8 is MJF.
Ooh, wow. Okay, very low on the list. Interesting.
I see.
It's very difficult figuring the top 10. People don't understand how difficult it is putting a top 10 together.
Hey, we're talking about top 10 promos. He's one of the top 3 right now, right? He's one of the top 2, actually.
Yep.
But his ability to tell stories is second to no one in AEW. Like, he's the best storyteller they have.
Yep, I agree.
Just what he's done. Being a champion, and I know where he came from. You know what I'm saying? Just in a short amount of time, he caught that much fire and got that much heat.
Yep.
It's impressive. I would put him higher, but my top 7 is kind of like my top 7. So, like,
right.
He's plagued by the fact that I don't watch him all the time.
Yeah.
I'm make it a point to watch AEW because it's nigh unwatchable. But
it's frustrating for you, I'm sure.
All I want is stories, man. All I want is stories. I don't need just guys being thrown together and see what works. Jesus fucking Christ.
It's difficult.
He's like every time I tune into AEW, he's a shining star. Right? He is superstar. Like anything is dry. Like anytime you see him walking on camera, your attention is drawn to him. Like no matter what happens, anything he's involved with. He doesn't have to be on screen. He can be in the building, but like he can be like in the back room talking somewhere, and just like you're drawn to him.
Yeah, he's pretty incredible, man. He's pretty incredible. Well, my number 7 is going to be Drew McIntyre. Again, a lot of people are going to say lower on the list, but I think, again, he's right where he needs to be. A main event player without holding a title. He's big. He's fucking mean looking. And he can get it done in the ring, and he tells a fantastic story. I mean, just look what he's done with Punk. And Punk is a guy at this juncture who's kind of a liability in the ring. I'm not gonna say that he's bad in the ring, but he's not great. he's not great. He definitely has some limitations.
Has led to further deterioration of his moves and him hurting himself.
Mm-hmm. I agree 110%. He's with Drew being able to carry that storyline for an entire year, basically, with very little interaction, just shows how good of a worker he is. And then able to get in the ring and lay it all out in the Hell in the Cell the way that he did, like, it's really, I can't take anything away from the guy. I mean, he is solid as a rock, and can get it done against anyone. He can get it done against literally anybody in WWE. And
Agreed.
It's not, again, he could be in that main event picture, and it's not out of place at all. He totally fits anywhere that he's put in on the card, and he understands his job, he understands his role, and he's totally comfortable with it. So, I take nothing away from Drew. How about your number 7, buddy?
My number 7 is going to be Drew McIntyre.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Oh, shit.
Because, he was in WWE, Intercontinental Champion, that's the chosen one, right? And he ended up in a terrible gimmick, in a jobber character, and was undervalued and fired. And then he went across the pond to ICW, to his own hometowns, and made himself into something that WWE wanted again. Like, WWE had to sign him.
Yeah, he's completely different.
To WWE, like, his NXT stuff was fantastic. And then he came to the main roster, and I've always been a huge fan of him. I didn't like the pairing with Dolph Ziggler when they were tag team champions, but he made it watchable.
He definitely did.
Like I said, this Punk stuff started in November of last year. That's when the seeds were planted for him and Punk.
Yep.
Was when Punk came back at Survivor Series last year. So, for him to have the ability to pivot from that storyline to Seth Rollins and have a match at WrestleMania for the World Championship that was very good. Then pivot back to Punk, like, it's incredibly difficult to do. Trust me, like, I have a one-track mind when I'm wrestling. I couldn't do 2 major stories at once.
Yeah,
he did a masterful job of it.
Yeah, he really is able to pivot so well, and again, you can use him in a litany of spots, and nowhere is he out of place, and he has just an incredible ability to tell a story. So,
and he was the odd man out in the main event picture of WrestleMania.
100%.
It was unfair, his placement on the card, but, like, again, I understand it.
Well, when you have those other guys who are going to be in the main event, it is very, very difficult.
You had The Rock in the first main event. Like,
how can you take?
There? You go to Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, the best box office 2 years in a row.
Very, very difficult.
It's hard to say.
Very, very difficult.
It's hard to put them up there.
It is definitely. Well, my number 6. Now that we're getting into the nitty gritty, my number 6 is Gunther. I'm putting Gunther at number 6. And for anybody who knows me, even a little bit, knows how much I value guys who are, that in that sort of Gunther vein, where he's the no nonsense. He's gonna chop your chest off, like he wants to lay it in on you, and some people will say, oh, he's got really no personality. Well, if you're really paying attention, he's got a great personality, and he is what I would want in a champion, to be quite honest. He is the exact guy who I would want to see as my world champion, because he conducts himself like a professional. He can go out there and wrestle with anybody. I don't necessarily like where they're going with the storyline where he might end up working Goldberg. I'm really not into that whatsoever.
Absolutely not. Keep Goldberg as far away from the fucking ring as possible.
And I mean, especially with a guy like Gunther, because what are you going to do? You're going to have Goldberg beat Gunther? That is bad news, man. It's all bad.
It's probably going to happen in Saudi Arabia, too.
Oh,
so, I mean, it's fucking sad.
Yeah.
All right, so, am I the only one who thinks he talks too much?
I think that Ludwig Kaiser should talk for him.
He should have a mouthpiece, but I don't mind him
Yes.
talking, but I think he talks too much and gets exposed on the mic.
Well, I kind of like the smugness of him on the microphone, but I
agree, but then I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to humanize him, right?
Right.
But I want the wrestling machine. I want him mowing down people.
Right.
I don't want to hear him talk. I want to hear him kick someone's ass.
Right.
And he's one of those guys where you can feel it. As we've kept coming for wrestling, we can feel every single chop he throws, every single blow, every single clothesline. He makes count. Every single forearm he throws, every single punch he throws, it's with purpose. I can't say enough about his in-ring work. It's such a throwback that it's so fun to watch.
It really is. And he knows how to manipulate a body part and really go after somebody. And I agree that sometimes he's a little bit long in the tooth when it comes to speaking. I think that less is more with a guy like that. I think that him having a mouthpiece would be a better, because he is very intelligent. So it's not like he's a dumb guy,
which
right?
Which kind of is kind of counterintuitive for a brawler. But I'm gonna say his promo work's bad. I'm saying I feel he just talks too much.
You talk too much. Never shut up.
I want to hear him talk. I want to hear him chop somebody. That's all I want to hear him do.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. I can agree to that for sure. Who is your number 6, pal?
Number 6. All right, now we're getting down to the nitty gritty. I'm gonna go with Jon Moxley.
Well, I mean, that is not a bad pick. I gotta say, Moxley did not make my list, but
okay.
I take nothing away from Jon Moxley. I especially like this new character that he's playing. I really dig it. I think that it's very, very interesting. I think that it's very cool. I'm glad that they kind of got away from the Blackpool Combat Club, but Moxley at 6 is an interesting pick, I gotta say.
He fits my sort of brawler mentality. I was a brawler in the ring, so I enjoy watching him work. I think he bleeds too much, to be honest, for my liking, but I understand why he does it. It just, every time he does it, it just gets less and less meaningful.
I think he does it because he can.
Right. I think he's already open when he gets to the ring, like Sandman. But I just don't. Again, I feel he's underutilized in AEW. I'm gonna call it WCW for a second.
Well, I mean, it pretty much is.
He's the world champion right now, right?
Yep, correct.
He just beat Bryan Danielson, the world champion, retired him.
Correct.
So, I think he's undervalued for that company. I think they need to take stock in him, and not use him on meaningless TV.
Well, he's a main event player.
Meaningless matches, like throwaway matches, because it doesn't make any sense for him.
Right.
And keep him as one of those attractions. Build him as an attraction. Maybe you get people to tune in more.
Yeah, again, I think that it's a less is more approach with Moxley as well, because he's so good on the mic. I really like the backstage stuff that they do. I like the how they're doing these promos with him right now, where he's backstage and he's talking into the camera. It's very gritty and pretty
very fourth wall breaking.
Yeah, it's very dark. It really is. It's really dark, and I gotta say, I do enjoy that. I don't think that his in-ring work is bad. I don't think it's bad at
No.
all. I think that he does bleed too much. I think that he uses that as a crutch. But I gotta say, I mean, his promo skills are impeccable, but they've always been really good. Ever since he was on the Indies, you know, he's always been a really good promo, and I mean, that's a guy that I could have totally put on the list, and you know, and wouldn't have batted an eye at, to be perfectly honest with you. So,
I mean, it's hard to argue his body of work.
Oh, I mean, he's incredible.
He's wasted in AEW because Tony Khan does not book a fucking card to save his life.
Which is strange. Which is strange when you have so many talented people around you.
So many smart guys around you.
You would think that you would listen.
Business guys around you, and you don't use them at all for anything other than camera work.
It is bizarre. Well,
who was your number 5, right?
Yeah, we're going to number 5. We're going to number 5. So number 5, I put Swerve Strickland in my number 5 spot. I love Swerve. I think that, again, same way that you feel about Moxley, is he's totally underutilized. I think that his world title run was not as good as it could have been. I don't think that they put enough emphasis on him.
For you?
I
could have watched him be champion for another 6 months.
It would have been great if they had him beat Bryan, and he's the one who retired Bryan, considering that they're, you know, both from Washington. You know, I mean, there's just like a lot there.
Moxley didn't need that, right?
Nope.
To establish Moxley didn't need that. Swerve did.
Yeah, Swerve needed that title win, but I understand that they wanted to get to Swerve and Hangman. I'm not a big fan of, like, you know, having Swerve stick needles in his face and get power bombed on a fucking cinder block to, like, get over, because he didn't need to do that to get over. He's
already over.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, if he didn't do that, I probably would have put him higher on this list. I think I probably would have put him in, like, the top 3 spot, but that really, like, took a lot of wind out of the sails for me when it comes to him.
It did for me too. And again, his stuff is crisp. His in-ring work is phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
It's just all the extras that he did in AW, right? Like all the extra stuff he did, like the cinder block spot and like over the top, like, oh my god, he's crazy.
Well,
stuff
it's just
don't do that shit.
Yeah, it's unnecessary. Like, you don't need to do that stuff.
I don't. No, and again, as a former wrestler, like, we both know you have to protect the now and the later, right?
Well, you should.
I mean, how are you going to protect later when getting backed up on cinder blocks?
Yeah, it's no bueno, man. It's no bueno.
It's stupid. It's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Well, the whole cinder block spot, thank God that it came into vogue after we had both been gone from the business. I had never.
I probably would have done it.
Yeah, I probably would have called for a pile driver on the thing or something, because, you know, I'm stupid. But I'm glad that was not in vogue, because that would have really been. It would have been all bad. I mean, I did enough stupid stuff to. You know, I wouldn't have needed to do that, and
I would have found a way to up my skull for that. But like it's not necessary. We knew when we took the risks we did. That wasn't necessary, but it was going to help establish something that we were doing in the ring, right?
Yeah.
It was done for a purpose. So I'm not a fan for violence for no reason. That's a lot of what I see from Swerve and from John Moxley too, for my pick. Is a lot of violence for no reason.
Yep, I totally agree.
I want violence when it calls for violence. I want to see the edge there.
Yep.
Possibility it could get violent, but I don't need to see it all the time.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I agree. Totally agree. Who's in your number 5 spot there, pal?
Number 5, we're gonna go with Seth freaking Rollins.
Oh, okay. So we've, I'm totally okay with that. I am totally cool with him being in that 5 spot for you.
To me, I've never been a fan of Seth. I don't know what it is about him that doesn't resonate with me.
Yep.
But again, all this heel stuff. His heel stuff was fantastic. This whole visionary gimmick. I could care less about. But the guy's a workhorse.
Yeah, and he's incredible in the ring. I mean,
fantastic.
He's really good in the ring. Really, really good.
And he's pulling matches out of Bronson Reed now, and like, it's crazy. I think he's uber talented. I think he's caught fire as of late. He's one of the probably going to go down as one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, honestly, of the modern era.
Yeah, I would imagine that he's going to end up being in that spot. I mean, we're going to see.
He's surefire Hall of Famer. I mean, his resume is already built. He doesn't need anything else.
Yep.
I do want to see him go with Reigns one more time.
Oh, I'm sure that's going to happen.
It needs to happen. That win the over Reigns for Rollins is a feather in the cap that needs to be addressed.
I would be very interested to see that, especially with how big of a star Roman is now. You know, right. I would be really interested to see what they would do with that match. But, I mean, I think that the Shield should all fight each other anyway. I mean, I wish Moxley was still with WWE because I think that he
Imagine
would be...
how big he'd be.
Oh, my God.
Right now.
Crazy. Crazy. So, we're down to the top four here. Top four. Who do you have?
Who's in the top four spot?
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to go with Cody in the number 4 spot. Cody's in the 4 spot, and the only reason why is because the face Cody I'm getting disinterested in. They haven't used him.
Boring.
Yeah,
very boring.
They haven't used him right since he got the belt.
Nope, he has not. He's had a very boring title run.
Yeah, he deserves to be chasing. I didn't mind that he won the title, but I thought he should have lost it already.
Isn't that crazy? He has the same problem his father has.
Yeah, you know.
Better chasing than he is a champion.
I think it's just the personality. I think it's, he needs a harder edge,
Agreed. And he had that harder edge when he came from AEW to WWE.
Yep.
And he's just sort of gotten more and more vanilla.
Yeah, he needs to fight from underneath. I think that's a big thing that people don't take into account is he needs to be able to fight from underneath. Him fighting as the champion just is not as interesting as him chasing the belt chasing a big heel as a face. But I'm very interested to see if they actually put him as a heel and what he'll be able to do as a heel, because I think that it will be incredible, especially with how popular he is. Once he turns heel, it's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, agreed.
And I want to see him as a heel champion. I would be very interested to see him as a heel champion, being a cocksucker. You know what I mean?
I remember him in AEW. I mean, not in AEW, but Ring of Honor. His heel work in Ring of Honor and New Japan.
Oh yeah,
that stuff was fantastic.
Yeah,
him as a heel is money.
Totally underrated as a heel.
They got to utilize him correctly. They have to make sure the stories align with that. And I think what they're lacking right now is the void he's filling.
Yep, I agree.
He's filling the John Cena void, and it gets to a point where he's so vanilla because he has to be palatable for all tastes.
Yep, I agree.
And I can't fucking stand it. Stop making him. Put him with Jacob Fatu.
Oh,
I want to see that match.
Yeah, I would be interested in that.
Give him better fucking heels to work against.
Well, you got to give him monsters to work against so he can fight from underneath. You know, Gunther is winning the fucking title, winning the Crown Jewel title. Oh, I totally agree. I think that Cody loses that match.
Gunther is fantastic.
Yeah, no, he really is good. He's solid as can be, can be. Who is your number 4, buddy?
Number 4 is going to be Gunther.
Oh, okay. Again, Gunther. I don't have a problem with that.
Nope.
I do not have a problem with that.
And again, I feel he talks too much. Unfortunately, for this list, you don't need to talk. You need to be there. You need to be in the and. You saw it when he was Intercontinental Champion, like how steady he was, how consistent he was, and he got better. He got fucking better as the run went on. Like how many fucking champions do that? The run gets better. We talk about Cody. He's held the championship now for what? 6 months?
Yeah, 7, 8 months now.
Right, and that's getting long in the tooth too. Right, it's getting vanilla. the point where we want to see him drop the title. Gunther, like he's just gaining more steam.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Continues to gain more steam. Like eventually, he could surpass Roman Reigns.
Oh, which would be fucking insane. That would be insane.
I mean, we're talking a bona fide global superstar.
Yeah, I think that I definitely think that he is a global superstar. That's for sure. And I think that if they really want to push him to the moon, then they would have him beat Roman's title run. I just don't know if they. I don't know if we as fans are ready for somebody to hold the title for that long again, considering how long Roman held the title.
I said this before. I wouldn't have ended Roman Reigns' run.
Really, you wouldn't have ended it where it ended, huh?
I would not have.
Interesting.
Because there's too much meat on the bone left.
Yeah, I think that they're definitely coming back to that.
They're going to have to, because like Roman and Rock need to have a match. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and Roman and Cody need to finish their match.
Right. They have a clean match. I prefer a clean finish match, like no interference at all. But that's not going to happen.
I don't know, though, because if Roman stays a face and Cody goes heel, I mean, total role reversal. Yeah. Oh, my God, that would be incredible. It would be incredible.
That'd be fantastic. Yep. And very well as possible that could happen.
It could happen. It could happen.
It immediately reignites the Cody Rhodes character, but...
I agree. Well, who's in your number 3 spot, buddy? We're down to the top 3 here.
Number 3, I've loved this guy since I've watched him, is Ilya Dragunov.
Whoa, wow. He is way high on the list. Holy shit. And talk about a hot take. My God.
He's, bar none, one of the best workers I've ever seen.
Yeah, he is really good.
And he brings that sense of danger.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think WWE overutilizes that to an extent. I don't even see every match with him. I don't even see him like on the verge of a concussion every match with him. But again, like having that ability to do that, it's so good. So good. It's so crisp.
It is good. And it sucks that he got hurt, man. It's terrible. It sucks that he got hurt.
Better, and he's back to what he was.
I hope he is too.
I want to see him and Gunther go at it again.
Oh, yeah. I think that's going to be a hell of a match.
Natural progression, right?
Hell of a match.
He comes back and he has a huge face, comes back and lets Gunther take him on a ride.
Yeah, I agree. Well, in my number 3 spot, I have an AEW guy, none other than Will Ospreay.
Yep.
And the reason why I have Ospreay rated so high is because I really have gotten to see his promo ability. I've gotten to see his in-ring work that follows his promo ability. And I got to say, man, you know, I'm not much into the style that, a very flippy style. I'm much more into the old school style of, telling a story. But Ospreay just for some reason knows how to blend the two styles together and really shows out almost every time that he's in the ring. And he puts it in a different type of stratosphere for me. There's not too many guys that are in AEW that put it in a different stratosphere, but he's one of those guys. And he brings a different element of danger where, he's taken bumps that are not human.
They're career enders, let's be honest. Anyone else takes that career, they fucking have a compressed spine.
It's unbelievable some of the bumps that he takes, and I give the guy a lot of credit because he's doing that, for the love of the business. He's not doing it for any other reason. That some of their TV tapings, they're only getting 1,000 people, and he's going out there in front of 1,000 people and taking these sick bumps, and it's like, my God, man, God bless you.
That's the Japan in him, in my opinion.
100%. 100%. The one place that I wish that I went.
Yeah, agreed. I think I would have been big there. But Will is one of those guys that you told me about Will Ospreay is one of those guys that you told me about long before I ever saw him, right? You gave me his name. Go watch his matches on YouTube. I watched him match on YouTube and I'm like, wow, holy shit! If this guy stays healthy, he's going to be fantastic. And to his credit, he has. Again, I don't know. He's one of those weapons that Tony Khan can use. He doesn't use right half the time.
Yep.
So he has really no. The stuff with Don Callis, I could, whatever. But again, his stuff always stands out.
I really would.
Like I argue with him at number 3 for you.
I really wish that we got an opportunity to see Ilya Dragunov versus Ospreay. I think that would have been. God. I think that would have been incredible. Oh my god!
Does counter wrestling.
Yeah.
And some of the bumps that Ospreay's willing to take.
I mean, kidding me? I mean, it would have been what an incredible match. I don't know if they worked on the indies at all. They may have worked each other, but I'd be interested in seeing it now.
Agreed. Like that's money. It's a money match.
Because Ospreay's gained a lot of weight. Like he really genuinely
that was the
like.
one critique I had for him when he came in. He was like he looked undersized.
Yep.
When he first started getting popular, and he's bulked up. He's filled out his frame, which is I think is helping his frame stay healthy.
Agreed.
But man, oh man, you don't understand until you start taking bumps how much that takes out of you.
Oh.
And some of those bumps would ended. He's taken would have ended careers.
100%. Absolutely, 110%. You are absolutely right. Would have ended somebody else's career for sure.
Yep.
Well, my number 2 wrestler, I'm going to go first here. The number 2 is MJF. I had to put MJF up there, up in the top, because MJF to me is he is the guy. He is the guy in AEW. He's the guy in wrestling. Besides my number 1, he is. And it was very difficult for me not to put him number 1. It was I was really struggling in the top, really with the whole list. But I mean, in the top 3,
it's tough.
I was really struggling, really struggling, and I almost put him at the 1, but I just couldn't do it. But MJF is the guy as far as I'm concerned. There is no equal to him with what he's able to do. His in-ring work is very, very solid. It's not impeccable, but it's very solid. And his promo work is, I mean, it's very reminiscent of Flair and how he's able to manipulate the crowd and how he's able to tell a story with his words and his facial expressions. And he
gets. I ask a question: how the hell did they turn him face? How the hell did he manage to turn him face? Like that's the biggest accident, lucky surprise I've ever seen in my life.
I think that there's so much more meat left on that bone of him being a face, and I don't think that the timing was right to turn him face, but it happened organically. I wasn't a big fan of like the kangaroo kick and like all that shit. If we had done this list around that time, he would have probably fallen out of my top 10 because I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Why is he doing this dumb shit when he's so talented? But
he's so over. He doesn't need that. Stop it.
Yeah, it's just like the Daniel Garcia thing with the dancing. Like, I just fucking...
Well, again, you're trying to humanize him and try to make him ha-ha funny to soften the blow to the crowd. Like, no, he's a natural asshole.
Yeah, exactly right.
Let him be a natural... Let him be a Flair and poke someone in the eyes when the ref's not looking, or kick him in the balls when the ref's not looking. Like,
well, the problem was he was doing that anyway. As a face, so it's like, but people are but people are cheering him. It's like,
shit. Don't give me gimmicky shit. Just give me the fucking stuff that's going to get me over.
Agreed. Well, who is in your number 2 spot?
It's going to be fairly obvious. It's Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
Hard to argue his run since he came back to WWE.
Agreed.
But when he went away, and he went to New Japan, he went to Ring of Honor, and got with the Bullet Club and all that shit. Really solidified him as a top tier wrestler.
Agreed.
And then he came back to WWE. I was wondering how fast they're going to push him and how much they're going to push him. And I think the perfect opponent for him was Seth Rollins.
Yep.
At WrestleMania. As a perfect match, perfect entrance, perfect night, right?
Yep.
I liked what they did with him at WrestleMania last year.
Agreed.
Lost it. I think it cooled his sales a little bit. I liked it. There's a lot of pushback on that, but I liked it. I think it was needed for him to fight from underneath. Mm-hmm. And now he's champion, and he's lacking that.
Yep.
He's lacking a foil.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs that Roman Reigns type guy on the other side of him to pull him through and get him there, right?
I agree.
His championship run, to me, has gone stale.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is they've already featured him against some of the most popular names on SmackDown already. Who do you feature him against now? Now you have him go against the champion from Raw.
Right.
Like you're running out of options. You gotta fucking do something with him.
Agreed. Totally agreed. Well, I have a feeling that we're both going to have the same number one here, since he hasn't been mentioned on either one of our lists, and the number one is Roman Reigns, I would imagine.
Number one with a bullet, sir. No argument here. I'm a huge fan of his work. I always have been. And he's just when you talk about stratospheres, he's in the next stratosphere. Like he's gone so far above and beyond what anyone could. He's untouchable. Right
yes, now. I agree. He is totally different.
He's the guy who, his music hits, all he has to do is walk to the ring and hit somebody, and then walk away.
Doesn't need to say a word.
That's the Stone Cold Pop right there.
Agreed.
And he knows how to milk it just for what he needs. And it's just such a nuanced approach, and it's just, the writing for him has been fantastic.
Yeah, Brian Gewirtz has done a great job writing for him. There's no doubt about that.
It's been absolutely perfect, and the cinema they've created has been must watch. Right, the Bloodline, the crumbling of the Bloodline, the new Bloodline, the return of the OTC. Like,
it's all so solid.
They made rocks on a string mean something. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Fella, they made rocks on a string mean something. The fuck.
It's unbelievable.
They got a gimmick over.
Totally got a gimmick over. That's for sure. I mean, they've done it now that they've done it twice with the Ulafala, and they've also done it with the bracelet with Punk and Drew. I mean,
agreed.
Two wearable items that you could probably sell at the WWE shop for hundreds of dollars, and people would buy them.
Available now, probably.
Available now at WWE shop. But I figured that Roman was going to be your number one. Roman is definitely my number one. I mean, I don't think that there's any doubt that he's the best wrestler in the world. Currently, I don't think. I mean, he literally, his aura is something that is unmatched in professional wrestling.
Agreed. Must watch. He's a must watch guy.
Must watch. Absolutely must watch. Well, this has been the top 10 current guys in professional wrestling today. Make sure that you reach out to us at good.villain.media on Instagram. You can also reach us at Pro Wrestling Summit RI on Instagram. We're going to have a bunch of top 10 lists coming. Like I said, we have the next 14 weeks already planned out, so don't miss that. This is your home for combat sports. We got 2 new podcasts coming in January of 2025, so don't miss out on that. Make sure that you subscribe, like, share with your friends, and till next week, it's been a hell of a ride, Chris. We'll touch base next week. You guys stay well. Peace.